Hey, what's going on, everybody? Excuse me, I'm doing my podcast actually. Sitting in my new living room armchair, right? Yeah, so I ordered this I think on Friday. No, not Friday, sorry. Wednesday, and I put it together today. You know? It's not like a really rocking chair, but it's something, you know. How's everyone doing, huh? On this Saturday, uh, January 23rd, right? 2021. Um, I am just taking it easy. I was out yesterday with my girlfriend. We went to this place in Jersey City downtown, right? Um, it's a Japanese ramen place. Apparently, it's one of the famous ones uh, in Jersey City, on Newark Avenue. So we sat outside in their like what they call the greenhouse. They have the heaters running. It was cold, but with the heaters and it was all enclosed, so it was nice. They built these like fucking what do you call these? Not cocoons, but the the outdoor dining. You know, yeah, we had some ramen and that was nice. Um, and then we watched a movie at my place here, obviously, right? Hold on a second, sorry. Let me turn off the heater. It's making noise. Okay. Can you hear me better now? Huh? Yeah, then I was talking to one of the potential accountants that I'm going to hire for bookkeeping today. Um, and then a couple of potential projects. I was doing some research, etc., potential clients. And today I just took it easy. I did some shopping, grocery shopping, put together this chair, and here I am. How is your weekend going, huh? And what the hell's going on with the whole political what do you call that climate? Not that I'm really interested in talking about that, but I guess since we have a change of reign, you know, we have a new president and the cabinets and blah blah blah, right? Isn't he doing the same fucking thing that Trump did? Uh, Without getting any like further into the fucking politics of the you know state of things. Well, when I say he, mean Mr. Biden is doing the same thing as Trump did when he came into office, right? He basically just he signed some executive orders, to undo what the fucking Obama was doing, and then now Biden is doing the same thing, isn't he? Instead of giving it a thoughtful process, whatever the fuck it is, right? Um, am I going to fucking like start my podcast with this ranting? No. I'm just, giving my 2 cents. How is everyone doing, huh? I have applied, actually, I'm going to apply for the second round of like PPP. And I spoke to an accountant, and I think I'm going to use them to file for that. Although fucking Square, which I used last year to actually applied for that, and I got a little bit of money for my business. But Square, I got an email from fucking Square saying that their applications are not going to be ready until the first week of February, and PPP applications are already in place. So why wait, right? Why the fuck do I have to wait for the Square, right? Although I have a feeling that the Square application will be easier because I already have the application. I mean, they have my application for the first round, right? So we shall see. I think I'm going to apply through both, through the accountant as well as through Square. So hopefully we get some money from SBA, and so I don't have to worry about like fucking basic shit like do I have money to pay my office manager and pay myself on the payroll and pay the fucking bills, right? Um, I think I have gotten to a point. I'm at a point where I said, you know what? That's it. I'm just getting rid of my office space in Manhattan. I can't pay that. I already sent them an email, and that's it. So that's the end of the conversation on that one. So yeah, I'm just going to work from my Jersey City office, focus on work and my life and my love life and family and etc. I think my sister wants to come over tomorrow. I think I'm going to do some cooking. I'll try to do like a cooking video. I don't want to promise, but if I could, then I would, right? January and February are kind of slow months, because of fucking hinterland here in Northeast, right? And then on top of that, we have this fucking COVID, which is not stopping or which is not going anywhere, apparently. Or is that so, sir? Is that because of the fucking, what do you call, the politicians acting like comrades? What is that show sometimes I listen to? Curtis show on WABC. He calls de Blasio, Comrade de Blasio, right? So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, not that I want to say it is what it is, but it should not be what it is, I think the facts are somehow distorted when it comes to fucking corona, right? I mean, I mentioned last time in my podcast that, I don't believe we have a definite answer on how it originated, really, But without getting into that rant, I think the distortion is that, businesses like restaurants and hospitality and all that, right? I don't think actually corona spreads because of that. There are no facts. They're not giving us any facts. They're not showing us any facts that, by the way, there's an increase because of that, So that's the fucking distortion of the fucking truth, What can I say? Let's not talk about corona, right? So let's just talk about something positive. Few things that we actually like to talk about in our lives, right? Such as what, sir? I don't know. I mean, I still feel that we are somehow living now with new realities, because of the fucking COVID. People say 9/11 was a new reality or whatever the fuck it is, but this is like totally fucking different. Um, Crippling the global economy, global whatever the fuck it is, right? Global life on this planet Earth. Um, Now, who said that? What that movie was? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Prometheus. Prometheus. When the engineers, without a spoiler alert, but I guess it is a spoiler alert. When the engineers, are one of the engineers who is left behind on that fucking planet. I'm trying to remember. Orga 6, whatever the fuck it is. And so he's carrying out these fucking monstrous fucking, viruses and whatnot, right? Alien life form that can basically devastate the life on Earth. So they're saying that, well, in order to recreate, one must destruct everything, right? So, is that what it is? No, I don't think so. The only way the life can be destructed here is if there's a fucking nuclear war breaks out. And that could be the end of the world. As many movies predict that, right? Or if a real asteroids, when I say real, like a real impact of an asteroid that basically wiped out fucking dinosaurs 65 million years ago, if something like that happens, then yes, then we are fucking doomed. So does that mean that there's a chance that could happen? There's a chance, but I think we have technology now to detect the fucking asteroids if something, gets closer to our planet. It's not going to be like something like Armageddon. How do you say that fucking word? I excuse my English. I don't think that's going to. There's a chance that's going to happen, but that's something that can be dealt with unless it's a really fucking huge asteroid that's on its way to planet Earth, right? I guess because I've been watching too many fucking like sci-fi shows, right? Which I'll talk about towards the end of my podcast. Sci-fi shows are great. I'm into those. I'm fucking into those. And the other thing I wanted to say was that I think I said this many times on my podcast is that, we are running out of our producers, our directors are running out of shows for me. So what the fuck am I going to watch, All right, let's talk about that when we get to the end, right? Towards the end of this podcast. It's fucking freezing ass out there. It's like probably right now it's probably like 28 degrees with wind chill and all that, right? Probably fucking 20 degrees, right? So I had my leftovers. I woke up late, and now I'm just taking it easy. Tomorrow is another day. I'll worry about tomorrow when it comes. So I'm going to live day by day, right? Day by day. Isn't that a song, by the way? I'm pretty sure it is. Every fucking word is part of a song that was ever sung or that was never sung. I think movies also, besides predicting the future, to an extent, movies also provide us this like fucking notion of, how you deal with. I mean, movies are movies. I understand, but some things you can learn from movies, and how actors act and deal with situations, difficult situations in their lives, and making split second decisions and all that. I'm pretty good at that usually, but what I'm trying to say is that the movies, and even like parts of dialogues, can actually teach you a lot of things. I guess that was one of the reasons I wanted to get into fucking acting. Not that I wanted to influence the whole fucking global population, but I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good to act, I think. Although, when you think about being famous and like being a fucking actor or an actress, paparazzis all over the fucking place, and you don't feel like a normal person, or that people treat you as the character that you have played or you're famous for. So those kind of things, I think those are like fucking like dark, like secrets of like Hollywood actors and actresses. Is that true? I guess it is. Uh, what's happening on the science and technology? I mean, technology is never stopping. Um, Autonomous vehicles and etc., right? Um, One thing I wanted to say, after going through the fucking, my own, like fucking addictions, and especially with fucking alcohol and what happened towards the beginning of last year. And, I have done AAs and all that, but I think AA is a cult, you know. AA is a cult because, people who have been through like fucking rehabs like fucking 13 times, even like 20 times, they have never recovered. So it's not really a real recovery program. I mean, there are a lot of good things about, like Big Book and all that, but really it's a cult, especially when it comes to the fact that the AA founder, Bob Wilson, who actually, um, who died of like fucking some lung disease because he was smoking. He was a chain smoker. But then when he was at his deathbed, apparently he was like asking for whiskey, sometimes getting angry. So the whole, it's a cult. It's a cult. That's what it is. I mean, you can say that, oh, the steps and blah, blah, blah. It's not about steps and all that. It's not about God and, you know, it's about you. It's about you and admitting that you have an issue with this substance or the other substance, and you just take steps. And yeah, you have to have, a group of people who you can, talk to, and etc., etc. But it doesn't have to be cultish. I don't like that, the whole cultish. I would rather actually follow like something that's based more on facts, scientific methods, and all that. But unfortunately, I think that's one other venue that the scientific community, medical community, has shied away from, besides like shying away from fucking psychedelics, right? Which can be therapeutic and all that. So, without getting too much into that, that's the point I was trying to make. Um, who else I was not talking to, listening to? Obviously, Joe Rogan talks about the homelessness problem in LA, which is obviously getting worse and worse as the fucking days go by, right? Um, Again, because, LA and California gives homeless people money and they give them whatever, I don't know. But they can. I mean, they can set up their tents and camps anywhere on the sidewalk. Nobody bothers them. But isn't that like a failure of the fucking society, right? Instead of giving them proper shelters, right? And you just give them money and just like fucking, do whatever the fuck you want, right? Kind of thing, don't bother us. That kind of fucking attitude is like fucking, so kind of toxic. And people are realizing that. Isn't Nancy Pelosi, not Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's fucking district is full of homeless people in San Francisco? Yeah, that's true. Why hasn't she done anything for them, right? I'm not a fucking Trumper. I mean, but the fact that these people who call themselves progressives and all that, right? Is that really progressive? That you just give money and whatever they want to buy drugs, whatever the fuck it is, right? Instead of giving them a proper like a home and all that, right? I'm not a fucking expert on this, so don't hold me on to that. But I'm just saying, right? It's already 11 o'clock, and I don't think I can do a whole fucking hour-long podcast, but I just talk random shit, so don't fucking hold me onto my words. I'm not like an expert on a lot of things. I like to read and listen to people who talk about things that I'm interested in. But I do hope that given the fucking, Biden administration, I hope that the fucking, this whole fucking immigration thing, gets resolved. These poor kids who are brought when they were young here to this country. Hopefully they find their way or a path to, eventually to citizenship, which I'm fucking dealing with myself. Not that I was brought here as a child, but, because of my own fucking mistakes, 7, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever the fuck it is, right? I didn't steal anybody, I didn't kill anybody, but whatever the fuck it is, right? But hopefully, instead of like taking a vengeance or some sort of a revengeful like fucking thing on Trump administration, hopefully this fucking administration, takes a fucking deep breath instead of, signing like executive orders, giving them some sort of a practical, shell or a body so they can be actually, passed and things are eventually getting done, right? Including the whole thing about Corona, and it's just a whole fucking plethora of things that are affecting many people's lives. I mean, I can see, and it's very obvious that because of what happened last year, many people have lost their jobs, their businesses, and I was at that verge. Hopefully the stimulus, second round of stimulus, it can help people out of their fucking miseries. I mean, New York City is like a shantytown, and it just happened like in a fucking year, 1 year, and then the whole fucking planet was like upside down. Hopefully, this doesn't give rise to fucking, some sort of a really dark, like fucking, some sort of a, like an anarchist sort of a fucking, another cult, right? I think everybody has to step back and make a list of what are the things that actually affect their lives, If you are on fucking Twitter or Facebook, ranting and trying to like, do rebuttals against some person about their opinion, then you're fucking wasting your time. You're fucking wasting your energy, and your fucking effort, right? So if you are that type of person, then you have to fucking step back and say, you know what? I don't fucking, I don't buy what this guy is telling me. I don't buy what that person is telling me. So what is it that is actually true? There's some sort of a truth. It has to be a fucking truth about things. Um, and what are the things that actually affect our lives? Uh, yeah, just think through these things like in a general sense. And I mean, it's good to talk about politics, although politics is the worst thing to talk about. But besides politics, the things that actually affect, for example, if you ask me in my life, the things that affect me are my work, my love life, and my family, extended family, etc., like family, friends, right? So yeah, that's it. And none of what happens in fucking DC really affects me, except obviously, because of the loss of business, we need that money from the government, assistance from the government. Obviously, these are not like, money thrown at you, sort of thing. You have to pay that back eventually. So these are loans. Even PPP is a loan, although you can be forgiven if you, meet certain requirements. But still, it's a fucking loan. It's not like the government is giving you, like fucking blank checks. Uh, yeah, I've been actually thinking about actually, I'm using a word actually a lot. Sorry, excuse me. I think my girlfriend, she's going on vacation towards the end of February, and I might actually like fucking take some like a long weekend off. Although there's no fucking long weekend. Maybe I'll just take the Monday or Friday off, and I'll go to maybe like someplace like warmer, maybe Orlando, or maybe like fucking I don't know, Miami. I don't know. No, not Miami. I don't know yet, but I make split second decisions. If I feel like going somewhere, then I'll go. And it's nice to be in a warm place. January and February. But the places which are warmer are places that are further from where I live. So it's not like I can, fucking like, drive out to fucking, San Diego from here, or down south, southeast. Getting on a plane, going through that fucking, the lines and blah blah blah. It's just a fucking hassle. But speaking of which, I think I should book my flight to Colorado, my near and dear home away from home. I mean, do I sound like a fucking alien who's stuck on this fucking planet because he's away from his planet? I don't know. No, I'm not a fucking alien. I was born here. Well, I mean, you can feel like an alien if you can just look at the state of things and even at your own life, stepping back or looking at it as a fucking like a big picture, stepping out of the whatever you call it, your own cocoon of like, whatever walls you have built around yourself. And it takes an effort. It takes an effort, and you have to be able to come out of that state of mind. I mean, we have come to a point, I think, where we feel so much fucking like influenced by chicken shit stuff, like fucking, oh, what happened to fucking, some celebrity, or, he said this, he said that, she said whatever. What the fuck, dude? How does that affect you? So we have become this like self-conscious sort of beings, or self-conscious, you know, uh, animals at the verge of fucking technological advancement in the 21st century, where we realize, oh, wait a fucking minute. I mean, instead of us like, blowing through the bullshit, horseshit of life, and just like, focusing on what's actually can impact our lives positively, we just don't fucking do that. We have just, I feel that, have become like this fucking, victims of like fucking, um, social media, whatever the fuck it is. Oh my fucking god! And then this whole notion of like, these companies banning people from, from free speech. It's just a fucking like. I have a feeling it's a fucking like a fucking whirlpool of fucking whatever the fuck it is, right? I have a feeling that if we like fucking go the way we are going moving forward, uh, I think it's going to take a real toll on us, in a sense that we are human beings. This is still everything, technology, everything, is still new to us. Yeah, I mean, at least for me, because I'm a fucking old soul, or whatever you call it, young at heart. Um, I didn't grow up with like fucking internet and cell phones and all that, right? I mean, it doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you, but I can see where the youngsters, the youngling, may come from. They grow up, you know, with advanced, like, smartphones, advanced technology, and all that, internet and all that, right? And so uh, when I said that it may actually backfire the way we are going, is somehow we are clinging ourselves to something that is actually flashy, or like fucking, some person said something which attracted, like a gazillion people on the fucking internet, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the fuck it is, right? And now the whole fucking um, population on this planet have gone berserk, right? Uh, so uh, social media is a powerful tool to use, but I think it's still not a real life. If you're on social media and blah blah blah, I don't use fucking Twitter. I don't use Facebook except when I post my fucking podcast. Twitter, I tweet like sporadically. If I come across something that actually like catches my eyes, then I'll tweet something, to somebody, whatever, right? But other than that, really doesn't affect me. And I think, we have, we are, we are somehow losing touch with ourselves, that we are humans, and we have certain things, qualities, and sometimes dark qualities, um, positive qualities, especially, the human interaction with other human beings, and and the socialization. That's the fabric of our our lives. I mean, if you leave that apart, right? and you isolate yourself to watching whatever the fuck you're watching, playing video games, whatever the fuck it is, you're losing the human touch, and eventually you lose the feelings, your feelings and your own emotions, and it's 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 good to be emotional sometimes. You have to get this fucking thing out of your fucking system. You don't have to like fucking find somebody to do that. You know, just be assertive and do and say what you have to say if it's affecting you. Like at a basic level. When I say something like that, it's something as basic as that. On the other hand, we have somehow uh, just put this shell on top of our human like selves, you know, this we are building this cocoon around ourselves, and it's just a fucking, hopefully it doesn't become a fucking disaster for many of us, right? I kind of feel, or somehow I have a thick skin and I'm kind of immune to those things. Um, and I have to be, because otherwise I'll be like fucking, going out of my fucking mind. And so that's why I just take it easy. I'll have maybe half a glass of wine or whatever the fuck it is, with my girlfriend. And then I won't drink. That's it. Fuck it. You know. Just vape some like fucking e-cigarettes, whatever the fuck it is, right? Nicotine. And just focus on the things that Am I fucking repeating myself like Jesus fucking Christ? But you get my point, so I'm not going to repeat myself again. Yeah, I'm doing the thing, online, the IOP, whatever the fuck it is. Although I'm getting to a point where I might have to say, "Oh, this is not fucking working for me. Whatever the fuck it is, right?" But let's see. But I mean, it's good. It's good to listen to other people who have gone through or who are going through the same thing that I have gone through, especially the beginning of last year. Um, so that's why I just take it easy. I've learned to just take it easy. Nothing can actually like fucking, like affect you as long as, you are in a good state of mind, and, you don't have to be out and about. You don't have to have 1,000 friends. You don't have to have like fucking, people surrounding you and, fucking worshiping you as like some sort of a fucking, I don't know, like a cult figure or a fucking what the fuck it is, right? I don't know. I think from the beginning, I think I have somehow learned that, you have to just fucking like step back and just leave everybody alone. And, I really want to be this like fucking, and this really fucking fascinates me, like in the South American culture, when Terence McKenna talks about, my guru Terence McKenna, when he talks about like shamans, living on the fringes of the society. And in my own culture, where I come from, there are people who are not shamans really, but there are people who have chosen to like just distance themselves from the fucking society's problems, politics and whatnot, and just like leave me the fuck alone. I'll be, I'll be living on the outskirts of the fucking mountain, or I'll live up higher, and then if you need me, call me when you need me, and otherwise don't fucking bother me, sort of a thing, sort of an attitude that I have developed. So I'm developing that, which is a good thing. And do I have anything in my cheat sheet, by the way? Probably a couple of things. Yeah, but I mean, the big thing for me is insomnia. I think insomnia, obviously, I guess because I'm a very light sleeper to fucking begin with. And and so I can't sleep early. It doesn't matter what day, what night, but I'm learning that, and I just pass out, whenever I can. But I like to like get at least like 6 hours of sleep. 7 hours is actually better. I think that's what I got today. I woke up late around like 1 o'clock, I think, and uh, yeah, I mean these are the things. I mean, lack of sleep can actually fucking like make you go fucking crazy. Lack of sleep because your body feels this like fucking urge to sleep, but your mind is fucking like accelerating with the speed of light or whatever the fuck it is, right? Um, you can't go to sleep. You're thinking, and I think these thoughts again. Like one thing to withdraw yourself from the fucking chicken coos and like whatever the fuck it is, right? Of the society, but at the same time, I think we also have to like withdraw ourselves from our own thoughts because our thoughts are like also it's a whole world in our thoughts. So somehow we have to learn how to like distance ourselves from our thoughts because this is not we who really are. We are not our thoughts. Yeah, past memories and what the fuck happened in the past that affects you, but somehow we have to learn to cope with that and and uh, and not living the future too much either. Not be worried about things. I'll worry about them. I'll worry about them when when tomorrow comes. Right. I think that's the kind of attitude I feel I should have. Although it's very tough. That's the toughest thing. I mean, you can distance yourself, from the society physically and walk away and blah blah blah. You can do all those things, right? But then, how would you actually walk away from your own thoughts, right? I guess one thing to work on that is to resolve, like some thoughts are practically speaking concrete, thoughts of like financial issues for me running my business, acting upon it, taking the steps, talking to people, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And then at the same time, uh, not be bothered with like, oh, why, well, that lady, why I couldn't like hook up with her, or maybe I should have said that, maybe I should have done that, maybe I should not have gone out with her, to drinking or whatever, or and these kind of like thoughts, you can't like take over your fucking mind with those thoughts, like shit like that. Um, or things like oh, maybe I should have acted that way. Maybe it would have been better. If I hadn't like uh, you know uh, let my accountant go. Maybe I should have given it a little more thought. You know, things like that. Guns are guns. Bygones are bygones. So, what are the steps that you can take to actually overcome that thought, right? So, in my case, would be okay. I have the whole fucking world is open for me. Um, and so, yeah, if there are concrete thoughts that are bothering you, then you should act upon them. You should act upon them. And if you want to reach out to somebody, even if it takes just like a fucking text message, don't say anything fucking like disastrous. If you have some feeling for somebody, just reach out, tell them, you know. And I think that's one thing. to resolve the issues with our own thoughts and blah blah blah. But eventually, I think if you really want to be someone who doesn't get bothered by thoughts, that's a really what do you call that's a really heavy like what is that fucking term in English that you use? Tall order, not heavy stuff. Tall order of things. If you can just do that, then you are a much better person. In your life, in dealing with people, dealing with work, dealing with your relationships, blah blah blah. And I think I should basically read David Diarra's book again. Again, it's on my phone in iBooks, and that's a great book. I still consult it. I used to, but not anymore. I guess I should. You know. So it's already 46 minutes, everyone. I think I have a couple of topics in the cheat sheet I wanted to talk about. So let's get into that, right? Everyone, how's everyone doing, huh? My first topic, everybody, is, I'm sorry, okay, here we go, Premier League. So I watched, what that match that I watched the other night, Chelsea versus Manchester City, right? Manchester City is my team. Manchester City, Premier League. I'm talking about Premier League soccer because that's what I'm into, right? Manchester City fucking like crushed Chelsea 3-2. I think it became 3-1. It was 3-0 up until like 70 minutes in towards the end of the match. And that was a fucking amazing game. Like Premier League soccer is one of the best soccers in the world, and so fucking clean and so smooth, and it's fucking amazing the way these fucking players, they play defense or offense or whatever the fuck it is, right? Fucking amazing. So probably I'll watch. I don't know. There were supposed to be some games, I think tonight and maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow because I'm just gonna fucking pass out Saturday 11:30 p.m. Just gonna watch a show or whatever, which I'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, that game was fucking amazing. And I have another topic, monoliths. So what are monoliths? Now, monoliths were actually being mentioned in the show that I just finished, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvels. They were talking monoliths, and I was doing some research on monoliths as to what the fuck they are, whether they're just fictional, And I saw some like fucking, article and few websites that I came across where they're actually talking about real monoliths are basically these I don't know, 10 or 12 feet tall, like fucking metal plates or metal like these metal columns. They appear and then they disappear. Apparently being cited by like government agencies like Parks Department and whatnot. And I'm like, is that fucking true? They appear and disappear? That sounds like a fucking $1 million prize for somebody who can debunk these, right? Just like fucking, what do you call, crop fields, right? Crop circles, I'm sorry. Not crop fields, crop circles. They were debunked by many people. They are not fucking alien, right? People created them, etc., etc. And so I think it's the same thing. It's there's no fucking way that a structure or a monolith appears, you know, in a second, and then it disappears after like 3 days or a week, right? It doesn't. It doesn't work that way in this three-dimensional space and time, right? Time being the fourth dimension. There's no way that something just appears in front of you, you know. Not, I'm saying not that they're claiming that something just appeared next to us, but it's more or less the same thing. People are saying, oh, we never saw this metal thing here. We live here, you come to this, we come to this park, or we come to this place almost every week. We have never seen this, and then the following week they say, oh, wait a minute, it disappeared. It doesn't work that way. I think this is all fucking hoax. Just like fucking, aliens and all that, right? Flying saucers. Which I have fucking talked about so many fucking times, and many other podcasters have talked about, but they're still talking. So let's get into like movies and shows, right? So yeah, I finished Agents of Shield. Fucking amazing show. It became really, really interesting after like fourth season. When again, without repeating myself, when the time travel was brought into picture, and spaceships and whatnot, right? So fucking amazing show. And what am I going to watch next? I don't know. And then me and my girlfriend actually yesterday we watched Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. Yeah, I think I'm into Marvel. Marvel has some great, like, fucking amazing movies and shows. And yeah, I'm just gonna watch some show and then pass the fuck out. And with that said, I think I'm gonna close out my podcast. I think I basically try to cover as many usual rants into one podcast, into 1 hour long or closer to 1 hour long podcast. So bear with me, everyone. And I will see you all next weekend.